Hi, everyone. This is Jillian from Jewish Workshops, and it is a pleasure to be joining all of you today for this historic event, an event that's been over 40 years in the making. For the first time ever, the biggest parenting expert in the Jewish world, Chana Radcliffe, is opening the doors to her Parenting Coach Academy, and you will have the opportunity to join as the first graduating class. We are really excited to be here with everybody. So if you would go to your control panel and just write your name and where you're joining us from, I would love to be able to welcome you. And I'd love to get an idea of who's here with us. So if you also wouldn't mind just right next to your name, putting out there if you are already a coach, if you have prior education, if this is your first time delving into the coaching world. It would be so great to just learn a little bit more about our audience today. Okay, let me see here. You're going to want to go to your question box and just put your first name and where you're joining us from. And then I will go ahead and welcome you. And while everybody is doing that, I'm just going to continue to tell you a little bit more about what is going on and what we can expect from today's class. So over the last several years, coaching businesses have skyrocketed. Following COVID, I don't know if you've noticed, but we have seen a huge uptick in people's desire to have a more fulfilling, purposeful, and meaningful career. We've seen the desire and need to have a more flexible schedule, and most recently, we are seeing how essential it is to bring in more income to our households, income that we have control over. So with coaches popping up all over the world, why are we opening another coaching academy? Well, let me tell you, with coaches popping up, we can see that there is certainly the demand for coaches out there in the world. That is very evidence-based. We can see that that is something that we need. But it's really simple. The number of coaches may have increased significantly, but there's a difference between just becoming another coach and becoming a master in your field. And the benefit from learning in the right place from the right teacher is the difference between becoming an expert and just becoming another coach. So today, Chana is going to be talking about the contents and goals of the program and how the training can be employed in a variety of professional contexts or as a fulfilling standalone career opportunity. You'll learn why becoming a Radcliffe parenting coach will give you a clear advantage in the demanding and exciting field of parent and family life education. Whether you're a licensed professional wanting to be able to offer more value to the population you serve, or you're someone who's always learned for a career in the helping professions, but didn't know how to get started, you will discover how the Chana Radcliffe Academy can help you achieve your goals. Plus, we'll have ample time to get your questions answered from Chana. And of course, for attending today, I'd be remiss if I didn't offer huge incentives for brand new students. So listen up for exciting discounts, bonuses, and everything that's included in this unique program. Of course, before we get started, I'm going to go ahead and welcome everybody. I see people continuing to join in. So as you're coming in, welcome, welcome. We have Esty from Amsterdam. Welcome. Fradel from Monroe. Zeldy from Toronto. Leah from Muncie, who's already a certified life coach. Wonderful. Rachel, welcome from Muncie as well, a recent graduate. Never coached, but you are a recent graduate in LMSW. Fantastic. Zipporah from Lakewood, welcome. Mati from Gateshead, Devora from New York, welcome. Also a student and follower of Chana. That is wonderful. Zipporah from Spring Valley, welcome. Founder and director of Nishmasi, working with thousands of educators, parents, and children in helping them express emotions in a Torah true manner. That is absolutely wonderful. Welcome, welcome. I love all of these different backgrounds and people from different places all over the world. Welcome, Gina. This is the chat, Gina from London. So you found it. That's fantastic. Welcome, Shalamis from St. Louis, who is already a life coach. Welcome, Morashari Glestein from St. Louis as well. We are very excited to see everybody here. And again, I would love to stay and welcome everybody, but I don't want to take away any time. We have so much to cover. So welcome to all. Without further ado, let me introduce Chana Radcliffe. Chana is an internationally acclaimed psychologist, author, speaker, course creator, teacher, columnist, podcaster, and overall scholar. As a practitioner for over 40 years, specializing in parenting, marriage, and personal well-being, Chana has accomplished a tremendous amount, and her work impacts millions. She has written 10 books and is a registered member of the College of Psychologists of Ontario, practicing marriage, parenting, and individual counseling. Chana, we are so happy to have you here for this monumental open house. I'm going to go ahead and turn the floor over to you, and I'll be back shortly to talk a little bit more about the program.
Okay, terrific. And welcome to you all. I am so excited to be here. I was writing, responding to an email last night. Of course, I have the daily parenting post email list, which thousands and thousands of, tens of thousands of people read. So people do occasionally write something. Of course, I can't answer too much, but one of the frustrating things that happened last night, just for example, was that somebody had a great question, one that we're going to take up later in this course, just for example, because I keep all these questions and we're going to bring them live into the course. But I knew this person could benefit from my help. And, with all the opportunity that being a parenting coach gives us is that we can reach hundreds of thousands of people, especially in today's world. But we can't give individual attention to all of them. We can maybe create educational programs, we can write books, we can write blogs, we can do a lot of stuff. But sometimes somebody needs to work with a coach, okay? There's one of me doing the Radcliffe method right now. And I am so excited that there will be so many more of me, so to speak, because I would have loved to say to this person just last night, I'm sorry I can't help you personally, but there's a coach in your area that you can call, and I'm sure that would be, extremely helpful. That's what I want to come of this, okay? I want there to be a coach in every area, okay? Maybe a few coaches for all the, millions of people. If you think how many parents are there in the world, okay? It's a wide open field if you have something real to offer. And I've made it a point in my own career to be very practical and very helpful to people, which is probably why I've been able to make it a career. It's like we're asking people to pay money for a service. And when you're a consumer, you know that you're not going to pay any money for something that doesn't help. And often in the general coaching field, let's say life coaching, people are asked to pay a significant amount of money, maybe the same amount of money or more that they would pay to a professional psychologist or psychiatrist or, one of these professions. And what they're going to get is very often not worth the money. Jillian was just saying the world is booming with coaches. That's true. But the question is, are these coaches making a living? Are they actually offering something that's got a marketable value? Do people want to pay for it and refer their friends to it? Do doctors want to refer people to the coaching population? You want to be the kind of person, whether you have 10 certificates, degrees or accreditations or whatever it is after your name or none, okay? Because you actually don't need any. What you need is to be truly helpful, okay? And that's what we're going to aim at in this course, because it's not going to be the kind of course that just provides handholding or to your clients or a good ear. And I'm going to explain why as we, get a little further into it. I'll just say this, that when we do this right, we are doing such important and gratifying work that it's fulfilling and fun and meaningful and lucrative, and it sustains us and our clients and the world and the children coming forward. What could be better than that? Okay, what could be more amazing than that? I can't think of anything personally, and I want to see you all have the same joy that I have every day, and I've had the privilege of having every day for longer than Jillian has said. Okay, so for a long time, we're giving children a better start, a better foundation in life, and we're helping to prevent many preventable disorders. Okay, so not disorders, but problems. We'll call them problems. Okay, there's certain disorders are inborn, but we're preventing a lot of problems for people, with or without other inborn challenges. And again, these are all topics that you're going to learn about, become very familiar with, know what you're talking about, and have clarity, not be confused, not at all. And you're going to find that your contribution to people is not only going to be helpful in the moment that you're speaking to them, to give them something to do today that's going to make their life better today, but it's also going to make their life better for years, decades to come. You may give parents just one word, one perspective, like a little phrase, a little reframe, or a practical skill that changes their parenting practice permanently. And you're going to hear from them. You're going to hear from them later. They're going to tell you, you told me 10 years ago, blah, blah. And they're going to give you the one sentence. And, they're going to say, I can't tell you what a difference that made or how that changed everything. And then you're going to feel like, look, we know our lives are worthwhile, but it's so gratifying to be able to really help people. As a Radcliffe parenting coach, you're going to have the satisfaction of knowing that you're really helping, and that's what's going to give you the joy every single day. I live it. I attest to it. I want it for you as well. Now, I'm going to tell you why this way of doing things is this particular approach, we'll call it the Radcliffe approach, will reliably give you this experience, both because of what this is and also because of what it is not, okay? So, first of all, a Radcliffe parenting coach is going to be somebody who knows things. So you're going to offer value, as I said before, to your client. And you're going to feel confident in doing that. These two things are very, very important to building an actual viable career, as I mentioned earlier. Because the cost of not being really helpful is tremendous, not only to your client for the session or two they tried you out, but to you as a practitioner. First, because when you're feeling confused, you're uncertain or unskilled, or like you don't know enough, or you can't really help, then this leads to a very fast road to burnout, to a lack of motivation and a lack of satisfaction. It's like, oh, I heard this client and they were going on and on about how frustrated they get with their kids. And I, empathized and I listened and I supported. But listen, I just didn't really know how to help her. I didn't know what to tell her. If a coach has that kind of feeling, like, I can support you emotionally, I can validate your difficulty and your frustration, I can be there with you, but I can't make your problem go away. That is unsatisfying for both the client and for you as the helping professional. So as a Radcliffe coach, you are not going to be in that position. Okay, for average parents, that's like I'm veer away from the word normal these days, but we're all neurodiverse in our own neurodiverse ways, I guess. But, let's call it average. Okay, the average parent benefits from this method tremendously. It's going to be the very rare person who you will need to refer on, and you're going to know when to refer on and who to refer on to when you get through the training process. Okay, you're going to know why this person is not benefiting. You're going to know a lot of things, but in general, you're not going to have this feeling when you get up in the morning of dread that you're asking for a lot of money and you can't provide a service that matches that. You're going to instead know that you can help. You're going to feel the help. You're going to be thanked profusely for the help, and you're going to enjoy that process tremendously. But it does more than, of course, make you feel good. It does allow you to have a real career because you're providing a real service, okay, that is needed. And people will tell their friends about you. And when you have a practice that's built on word of mouth endorsement, that says a lot because, I remember when I was just starting out in my own private practice, a business coach was telling me that all it takes is one or two dissatisfied clients to really almost ruin or entirely ruin a person's career. Now, that was before the internet. Okay, there was a time before the internet. But right now, with the internet, it's almost certain that if you don't do well, if you actually, heaven forbid, do poorly, give poor advice or don't know what you're doing, that will spread very quickly. And so we have the two things. One is positive results will get you word of mouth. All the world will be your referral base, okay? Even if no doctor ever knows you, but soon the doctors will know you because your clients will tell their pediatricians, I had the most helpful experience with so-and-so. She really, got me to be able to finally, get my kid to do A, B, or C, right? So this ability to have the community endorse you is your financial security because the community is large, okay? If people like what you're doing, they will tell everybody, and that will include professionals who will eventually be referring their clients to you. This is how that happens, but it only happens because you have something truly to offer. So, there are different kinds of, yes, and I want to just finish that thought one more time. Also, okay, your client tells her doctor, and the doctor refers one of his or her patients to you, and that patient comes back and thanks the doctor. Okay, then the doctor knows, okay, this is somebody who I can refer more of my patients to. I'm just telling you how the business side of this works, okay? This is exactly how it works. Because if that person comes back to their doctor after getting the referral from the doctor based on one good experience and says, I tried that person, but it was very expensive and it really didn't do anything at all. In fact, it kind of backfired or whatever, then that's the end of it for that doctor and for all that person's friends. And that's how that works, okay? So when we step out to open our mouths to really try and help people, we must know what we're doing. And as your teacher, I am going to give you the benefit of those many decades of experience. We don't have to keep saying how old I am, but I'm going to give you the benefit of those decades of experience, but also the benefit of my advanced psychology degrees. I'm not just a parent raising my own 3 kids and, saying, well, this worked for me, so I think it'll work for you, or I'm not just a life coach saying, yeah, so what are your goals? What would you like to see happen? Okay, so how do you think you can make that happen? In parent coaching, we need more than a set of questions and goals and cheerleading. We need much, much more. We need to be able to direct people. So this is kind of a niche profession, and we are not part of the life coaching institute or certification process, partly for this reason. This is a standalone profession, and it is a profession that has a place in the world that's really up to you where you want to put it, because you could, for example, be helping schools. You could be helping like I said, you could be the referral source for a circuit of family doctors, pediatricians, psychiatrists, and psychologists who do not have this specialty, but want to refer their patients with parenting problems to somebody who can truly help. You can, I'm just going to think the list of all these people. You can actually teach all these people if they want to enhance their own professional practice. If there's a social worker who wants to be able to incorporate this into her family practice, or if there's a psychologist, a psychiatrist, a doctor who wants to be able to help parents, you can actually, be teaching professionals. There's actually, what you can do with this training and certification is really limited only by your imagination, but we're going to help you get that imagination started, okay? But you can be hired, and you can be in private practice, having all the flexibility that allows you to raise your own family, to make an income, to work around the hours, to work part-time, to work full-time, to do what I do, work more than full-time, because you know what, it's fun. I mean, I wouldn't work more than full-time if it wasn't so gratifying, okay? I do it because I love it, and I know that you will too. I know I'm going on and on here, Jillian. Do you want me to take a break and, do you want to jump in here with your own comments or questions, or do you want me just to carry on?
You can finish these few thoughts, and then I would love to obviously jump in as well. But I do also just want to mention to people, please feel free to put in any questions that you have, because of course we're here to answer your questions. So I'm not going to interrupt Sarhana while she's speaking, but while you're putting your questions in, as soon as we take, our back and forth time, I'm happy to address those. So yes. If you want to go ahead and finish a few more things, and then I would be happy to jump in.
Okay. I'm going to go a little further, but yes, we're here for the open house so that you can get your questions answered, to find out, whatever you need to find out about whether this program is the right one for you. There was another thing that just came to my mind about helping nannies. Okay, like a lot of people have hired nannies to help their children, but a lot of these nannies don't have a clue, really, other than speak nicely to the kids, I guess, or can you imagine having a business where you actually train the nannies? That just came to me now. The problem is, like I said, I'm only one person. I cannot do all the businesses that I can think of, but we can, as a community of parent coaches, we can have all sorts of divisions. Maybe we'll have a whole empire, a whole branch of different things that we can do, together and separately. But childcare workers, nannies, sports coaches, there's a lot of people. Teachers in schools, they need to adapt this material so badly. I cannot tell you, how many people whose children are struggling within the school, not so much at home, but within the school, or even at home, but we're bringing in a parenting program that the school needs to support, but the school, the teachers, the administration, nobody knows, how to carry out what we want them to carry out. There's certainly room for bringing your practice to the field of education as well. So, I hope that gives you just a bit of an idea of where a person could go with this. Now, we said in other coaching programs, because you might also find, I did a little search online for other parent coach programs. I found weekend courses, I found 8-week courses, very brief kind of things. I found the occasional more in-depth course as well. So to differentiate ourselves from coach generally, and the short coaching, parenting coaches, I just want to say, what are we doing differently here? I've already touched on life coaching as being a process of supporting a person to attain their own goals, to achieve what they're struggling to achieve, to define those goals, to know what they want, and to move forward in them. That can be very, very helpful for the person to take the next step in life. It is not generally appropriate for a person who has trouble with their kid talking back to them, or fighting with siblings, or dealing with anxiety or whatever. We need different kinds of interventions for that, and that is where parent coach comes in. There is no weekend coaching course that could give anybody what they need on this. There's no, I was telling you, I think before I cut myself off, what it is I personally bring to the table, besides all those years of experience, which is important, but, advanced psychology degrees, which is important, but I'm also a person who loves the field and who has, since I don't know what year, back in 1973 or something, whatever, been nonstop studying. I still study. I still take courses. I'm taking a fantastic course right now, actually, emotional, betrayal within the family. It's a great course, but I'm taking a course all the time. You can ask me any week which course I'm taking, which book I'm reading, and so on. I'd like to stay up to the current This particular course I'm taking right now is, it mentions, because it's given by a practitioner who's also a little older, who's saying, well, the field has changed quite a lot, since the last time I took a course on this subject, okay, even 20 years ago. And that's why it's so important to not only embark on this career, but to delve into it and to chew it over and to make it yours, okay? A real profession, that's what we always do. There's something called continuing education that organizations make you do in order to keep your license or whatever. But to be a true professional, you don't need anybody to make you do that. You want to do it. You want to stay up to date with all the cutting edge techniques and to keep learning. I'm going to start you on your path because I have a breadth of knowledge, okay? But again, not that's going to be given over in a 6 to 8 week course by anybody, and truly not even what's going to be given over in the 9-month program that we're doing. And that's why with the program, we get the 5 years of courses that I've already produced for Jewish workshops for you to watch and learn from. And then, of course, I'm not the only person or any source of learning that you'll be learning from for the rest of your life. But you will do better if you're that kind of person who wants to keep developing your skill, to keep learning, to keep growing, to keep advancing, to keep offering people new things. Is there any limit when it comes to psychology? I don't think so. we are a black box still. And not only that, but you may use your parent coaching certification and training as just a starting point to a very expansive career. You might, like I did, go from there to becoming a licensed psychologist. A lot of people will take that route, or perhaps a social worker, who knows what. You might decide later on, for whatever reason, depending on where you are in your life and how academic you like to be, or for whatever reason, you may go get your PhD one day and, using this as your starting point. But you may not do that. You may just go deeper and deeper into your skill set, offering more and more, expanding. You may find the business side of this so creative and enthralling that you might just forget all the academia and just figure out ways to help more people more effectively. I see that online, that some people, they're really into producing materials for the widest number of people. And, somewhere along the line, not so long ago, I learned how to do the email list from Jewish workshops that offered a course on how to create an email list. Okay. And I thought, yes, I need to be able to reach people in a different way, a larger way. And I am one of these people who finds the business side a little bit interesting. Business is just how many people can you reach? That's what business is, okay? I was so frustrated for decades, actually, helping one, because even though I knew each one was a world unto itself, and each parent helping their children was also helping their grandchildren, their great-grandchildren, the generations after them, I knew that, but I also knew I was saying a lot of the same things over and over again. Why do it one-on-one? Why not do it to larger numbers, okay? Would you like to have an effect on thousands of people? It's a huge merit. Okay, speaking of merit, this course is aimed for people who want to work within the Jewish framework, within the Jewish community. Although we will be able to help everybody, I certainly help everybody, all races, all backgrounds, all religions, or whatever, and you may do that as well. Always straight up giving them the Jewish view, because I can't separate myself from that view. It's, my eyes are blue, the Jewish view, it goes together. I can't separate that out. But I'm quite open with it. And you might find yourself doing the same kind of thing, or operating only within your community, within the community, smaller groups, who knows? But that will be also very much part of this training, to make sure that we're giving proper psychology according to the Torah view, because I can't do it any other way. There is no psychology that I would pass over here that is not grounded in Torah first. Okay, if it passes that test, then we can learn it and do it. So some of these other courses, a lot of the ones I found online are kind of the easy stuff, dealing with preschoolers, your little toddlers, or your up to grade 3 kind of population that has, problems, parenting problems, like, picky eaters or whatever. By the way, you may end up specializing in one of these problems. So there are people who are making businesses out of being sleep coaches, right? Getting their kids to sleep. Or there's picky eater coaches. There's ADHD coaches. There's, within the coaching thing, you may take more training and more specialization to delve deeper into an area that you're particularly interested in. But then you have the whole skill set on how to present this material effectively, not how you just know it. First, you must know it, but then how do you work with parents in a professional way, okay, to convey it, to give it over, to inspire, guide, and see them to success? How do you do it? This is professional training. We're not just coming in, like I said, like I have 3 kids, I did whatever, it worked. Why don't you do it too? No, we've got to do much better than that. And we want to approach this whole field with wisdom along with compassion. Compassion is certainly not enough, and we need to be more than a good listener and a friend. That's not what they're going to pay us the big bucks for, although somebody who's desperate for a good listener and a friend might do it for a while. But it depends what they're coming to you for. So we're also not going to be able to do like some of these parenting coaching programs do, a one-size-fits-all program. Here's my program, okay? This is how we should all parent. Okay? Now, I do have a program that you're going to be learning, but this program is adjustable on all of its components to the individual parent who's using it and the individual child who's receiving it. Okay, so it has to work like that. There's not like, here's the method. Oh, would that it would be that simple. This is why I keep taking courses till this morning, you know what I'm saying? Because no, we don't have the method. We have a lot of methods, a lot of things, ideas, things that interact, and we have a lot of fads, things that come into the world of psychology and the world of parenting and things that go out. Here's again another reason why Torah is very important to us, because Torah is not a fad, and it will give us a solid framework that doesn't make any sense. Whatever, with which to operate. I look at my grammar. I wrote a Jewish version of a parenting book called The Delicate Balance, which was written for, I would say, the, religious community, because it was all based on Torah directly. It was not kind of drawing and inspired by Torah. Let's say, as everything else I do has Torah embedded in it, but I don't necessarily write that. Let's say in my HarperCollins book, Raise Your Kid Without Raising Your Voice, Raise Your Kids Without Raising Your Voice. That's not, I didn't quote Torah sources. I just, it's every line in there is from Torah, but I didn't say so. Whereas The Delicate Balance, which I don't even know if it's available anymore. I wrote that many decades ago. But it drew straight from Torah on the Torah has a view on how we should be raising kids, which involves, of course, love and authority. I think that was in the subtitle. Love and Authority in Torah Parenting, I believe, was the subtitle. And it sets us straight right from the beginning, because in the Torah view, the right hand draws near, which is deemed to be the stronger hand. The left hand pushes away, which is deemed to be the weaker hand. But we need that push. And there's a lot in Torah that tells us, no, you cannot ignore certain things. There's certain ways we have to think of certain things. And in today's modern parenting landscape, if you were to take most parenting coaching courses right now, you would get the love them to bits kind of methodology, accept everything, trust their good instincts, and let them come, whatever. You'd get all the stuff, which you'll get some of that here, because the right hand draws near. And without it, we don't have the foundation in parenting. We can't even begin to educate our kids. But it is a beginning, okay? We have our eyes straight. There's many things we need to do in parenting. So parenting is truly complex. Jillian, are you there? Do you want to give you a chance? What happened here?
Yeah, I'm here, and we have got some great questions coming
Oh,
in. So many
okay.
people want to know about the course. So I
Okay.
am going to answer all of these questions, give you a great idea of what is included in the program. Sarhana has laid a lot of great foundations right now, and I will tell you exactly what to expect. And of course, we're going to go back and forth again with Sarhana with more direct questions for that. So let me tell you exactly what is coming your way. So over the next 9 months, we will be going over a lot of different methodologies and skill sets. Month one is going to be focusing on general principles of working with parents, followed by foundational parenting skills, part one. Month three is parenting skills, part two, going on to parenting skills, part three. And you can see, I'll give you a link, to go and look at the sales page, and you can certainly look at all of the different methodologies that will be discussed in each month. But I don't want to take so much time right now. Just to give you an overview, month 5 is going to be mental health issues, identification, and interventions. Month 6 is all about raising teens. They get a whole month's worth of topic. And month 7 is going to be sibling issues, followed by marital challenges in parenting, and of course, applied strategies for issues in parenting. So this course is unique to many that we offer because each week you'll receive a new class in your membership area. It's a pre-recorded class for you to listen to at your own convenience and at your own pace, rather than trying to schedule a specific day and time into your calendar. Plus, you'll also get corresponding outlines with each module to help you follow along. And it'll also have a short quiz at the end just to make sure you fully understood the material after each session. So many people have shared with us in the past that their schedules are packed. And now we've really taken that to heart. So you don't have to attend on a certain day at a certain time and feel like you're missing out if you can't make it to those. You will have 24/6 access to every class to watch, take notes, practice, all at a time that's comfortable for you. I see a question here. Yes, so Rachel, your question, I'm about to touch on that. So what if I have a question after I watch the modules, and how will I know if I've processed all the information correctly? So great question. Like I said, there will be quizzes just to make sure that you have understood the questions, but understood the content. But if you want to ask additional questions, we've created for all of our students a community forum to send in questions, create conversation, build dialogue with classmates. So you'll be able to feel like you are part of a community, all on the same journey. Obviously, becoming the best parenting coach that you can be. And one of Sarhana's master trainers has graciously agreed to step in and moderate that forum, so you can make sure that your questions are being answered in a timely fashion from somebody who has trained with Sarhana for years. We will also, of course, have a moderator from Jewish Workshops if you need any technical support in that forum. And really, it's here for you. It's here for students to correspond and communicate with each other as well. Talk about, your favorite part of each module, something that really spoke to you, sharing ideas, sharing, even if you're, practicing techniques, and then to get your questions answered as you're going through each module. In addition to that, we'll also get to meet with Sarhana live on Zoom every 4 weeks for a 2-hour Q&A and implementation session. So that will be the live aspect to the program because we're working so hard to get the questions answered as you go along in the forum. Much of that 2-hour session will be implementation and practice, so that you can really take all of the content and put it to good use. So I just want to make sure we understand. So it's the classes, 9 months of classes, plus your live mentoring, 1 Thursday a month. And then again, of course, the community aspect with our open forum. Plus, in addition to all of that, you'll also get a resource library, so you can continue your education and professional development by gaining the full library of Jewish Workshops series with Chana Radcliffe. And those will also be available to you in your membership area to listen to at your convenience. You'll also get to join a live webinar following the 9 months of work with Chana. We will have a special webinar just to help you launch your coaching business. So together with Chana, Jewish Workshops experts, will also work hand in hand to help you get the business aspect off the ground. So how to get clients, how to maintain clients, how to build a mailing list, how to work on building a private practice, how to do some marketing, some simple and easy to learn techniques and tools that will give you the strategies that you need to get your business off the ground. If you already have a business and you're planning on hopefully making it bigger, making it better, getting more clients, this will be, a wonderful course for you as well. Plus, as I just mentioned, the monthly live group mentorship sessions. So you'll gain the real world application, plus gain insights from fellow members as people are opening the discussion. We have, the Zoom classes so that you can see each other, you can hear each other. And while you're practicing these methodologies, you can also hear different questions coming in or see different ways that people are able to apply the methods to different stages of parenting. And finally, what you're really going to gain from all of this. So a lot of people who have actually already registered in our pre-sale have actually registered because they're looking to be better parents, to be more positive, to get that education out to the masses by just being a positive mentor to their children and, God willing, working, amongst the community. There's also being having more meaningful and more purposeful position, whether it is, again, something new that you're looking for, something deeper that you're delving into. And of course, as I mentioned in the very beginning, the freedom and flexibility to write your own paycheck, to work the hours that are convenient for you, to choose your own schedule. All of these things come along with becoming a certified parenting coach. So if the things that are the most important to you are, being your own boss, creating a schedule that works for you and your family and your clients, then this is definitely the way to go. Coaching your clients from anywhere, anytime, doing the work that you love, that all aligns with your heart and your personal goals, then this, again, is the place. Creating financial freedom with alternative revenue streams, such as hosting virtual group coaching programs, podcasts, books, courses, you name it, you can do it. You just have to have, the education behind you. And that's what we're here to offer, as Chana has explained in depth. So an opportunity like this is brand new and so exciting to us, where you're going to get the full 9 months of a certified program, plus the live Q&As and experiential practice sessions every month, a supportive community forum to share ideas and get important questions answered, plus the bonuses to fully equip you with the tools you'll need. So today we are opening up this opportunity to take advantage at a special discounted rate, like I mentioned, for everybody who joined in for this open house. We have made sure that the discounted rate applies to you. And I actually have one extra bonus that is really exciting. Chana and I just spoke about this on Friday. We're super happy to offer the first 15 people to sign up today, while we still have over an hour left. We're going to be taking questions. We're going to be talking a little bit more about the course. But the people who are here right now and you're ready and this is for you and you can visualize it and see that this is the path that you want to take that is going to be so successful for you and your family and your career, you will get an exclusive and intimate pre-course meet and greet Zoom session with Chana to forge a personal connection where you'll be able to share your interests, your mission statements, and your questions in order to help personalize the course for you. Chana will be there to meet everybody and really go over what it is you're looking for as she creates and goes further into the curriculum. She wants to hear what you have to say. She wants to be able to help mold and personalize the experiential trainings that you'll receive to exactly what you're looking for. So our first 15 win that special spot in the initial Zoom meet and greet, which will take place already this week before you get your first session next week. So let me give you the link. I know people are dying to start, and I also see some more questions coming in as I'm talking. So I will put the link right in your chat box. It is www.jewishworkshops.com/SCR Academy. Just one word, SCR Academy. I'm putting it right there in your chat box. You can copy and paste it into a separate browser while we're here on the line. You can sign up, you can secure your spot. If you are one of the first 15, you'll automatically get your spot in our meet and greet, and you will get an email confirming that. Of course, if you have questions or need help registering, please put your name and your telephone number right here into your question box or your chat box. Sephora's here on the line with me. Hannah's here on the line with me. Samantha is here on the line with me. We have got Jewish Workshops staff waiting and ready to help anybody who has an additional question. We are offering payment plan options to make sure that you have exactly what you need in order to make it as accessible as you can. And in order to get our basic package, it's going to be $3,997. That includes your 9 months of classes, your outlines, quizzes, and homework, your membership area, community forum, and the monthly live Q&As and implementation sessions. And that is only $39.97 today. After the next 48 hours, it will go up to $49.97. And for Platinum, that includes everything that Basic includes. It includes your 9 months of modules. It includes the outlines, quizzes, and homework, the community forum, the live Q&A and implementation session. Plus, you'll also get the resource library, the business mentorship, and most importantly, for everybody who is looking for your Chana Radcliffe certification, you get the certification when you join your Platinum package. And that's only $59.97, which is hugely competitive to other courses. If you've looked into other parenting courses, we have really decided to try and stay as competitive as possible. We obviously know, especially in this time right now, it can be more difficult to be able to put money into, different things. And because this is something where you're going to ultimately, God willing, flourish in your career, you will be making your money back in no time. But the investment is well worth it. I know that there are also people who have been asking, and Sarhana mentioned very specifically, why one of the reasons why we are not ICF accredited is because it is a specialized program. And if we were to pursue something like that, the costs would be anywhere from $8,000 to $12,000 for tuition. And we chose to go with this route so that we could make it as accessible as possible. And as I mentioned, when you click the link to go and join, whether it's Basic or Platinum, there are payment plan options for you. If you have questions about those payment plans, please feel free to put your name and your telephone number. Again, I have so many of our staff members standing by, really excited and willing to help. We're more than happy to answer any questions, and of course, help find the payment plan option that meets your needs best. It's jewishworkshops.com/SCR Academy. And if you have additional questions or need help, you can, of course, always also reach us by phone. But right now, I think the phones are going to be busy and off the hook. So if you need help, make sure that you get your name and telephone number right here in the chat box so that we can make sure to be able to follow up with you. I'd also just love to ask, as you are signing up, if you can come back to me and let me know, put your first name, the words "I'm in." I would really like to be able to welcome you. And of course, I would like to try and keep track and make sure if we hit our 15 to let you know, of course. But I would love to be able to welcome you and let you know that you are part of that first 15. So once you have your registration complete, just come on back with the words "I'm in" and let me know. Okay. I can see, again, so many questions coming in. So please just be patient with me. Give me a few minutes here to go through all of these questions. So Archana, before I even got started, I think there were a couple questions here about the ages and stages of what we're going to be covering in the course. So will the course be geared to all ages and stages, since spotting and preventing problems sounds more like early years? What about teenage issues? So I talked about the teenage issues coming up in that full month's worth. But if you just want to touch on that, I want to make sure that we get that answered, please.
Yes, we're going to cover everything from birth to your middle-aged child, because it never ends. And we're looking at it, not just about like you might find in a parenting book or in some courses, the topics like eating problems, sleeping problems, defiance, or who knows what. Those things will be there, and according to their ages, but embedded in a larger framework. I think, what's one of the things that is different about my approach, I think, is that there's a big picture foundation background that informs everything else that we're doing and weaves its way through it, which is kind of why we can do it from infancy all the way to age 45. You're going to learn a system that will empower parents to independently carry on. They're not going to have to call you for what do I do with this and what do I do with that, because once they get the big picture, they will know a lot about how to go forward without you, and which is good. Okay, you're not trying to babysit people. You want them to be able to flexibly apply what they're learning to make the best outcomes and in the minute-by-minute interactions they have with their kids when you're not talking to them, all right? You're hardly ever talking to them, so they need to be good at this. And you want something that's easy for you to learn and to give over, and easy for them to acquire and apply, and that appeals not only to emotion, but to logic. And the way my information runs, it happens to be male friendly. So a lot of times when a couple comes for parenting, or even in psychology altogether, sometimes things are a little bit too female loaded in terms of the approach, caring and compassion and listening. And this is very nice and tender. And we need that from both, sexes. But in general, men want to know what to do. Okay, how do I do it? Whatever. And they take to this approach. I know many, many men follow the daily parenting posts, which are short snippets, that they really absorb and can use. You're going to have that ability to talk to mothers and fathers and be heard by both, and they're going to get it. And the material is organized in a way that's easy to understand and makes intuitive sense. You're also, like I said, going to know the powers and limits of what you are doing, both what you can do and what you should not be touching, what you can't do. You're going to be very clear on that. So it's not like you're going to have the answer to everything, but this does remind me of why you want to pay that extra money and do the full certification, not just for the certification. You will not make any money based on whatever degree. You could have a PhD and hang it on your wall, okay? Nobody is interested in your pedigree, like the initials you have after your name. They're only interested in what you can truly help them with, how much of a help you really are. For that reason, that is it the platinum, or whatever it is, the certification program that contains the entire library of of the courses I've taught, I think is very, very important, because although we will be covering everything month 1, month 2, month 3, as you've seen, the people who've been studying it for 5 years, and I know some of you are here now wanting to be able to offer it to other people, which is amazing. You have to figure this out, okay? You cannot cover in month 1, month 2, month 3, which I've covered in 5 years, okay? Or if I've taken one subject that is getting 1 week in this course, and we've done 15 weeks of it in a different course in that library, you want to go dive deeper into that 15 weeks. Now, I'm going to give you enough, okay, to definitely, to be good at it. I'm not saying that long, but the reason we have a basic course, one that you can apply very well and certainly to your own family, and certainly within the classroom. You don't need to know the deep dive, but if you want to be that individual practitioner, that one-on-one parenting expert, I'm going to say, there's no such designation as parenting expert, but you'll be as close to a parenting expert as you can be. I'm going to say you need that certification program. If any of you are wondering, like, what is the difference? You need all of that information. You do. So I don't know if I've answered your question, Jillian. Did I answer it?
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. I just want to get to a few other questions here, and we have a really special guest who has taken time out of her day to come and talk to you a little bit about her experience and her time learning with Sarah Chana for, I think it's been almost 10 years, if not more. So I'm going to open her microphone in just a minute, but I want to make sure that these questions are also getting answered. So just a really quick overview. I know there have been a lot of questions coming in, and I want to just reiterate, we will get to all of them. I think a lot of them have been answered by now. But for some who are still asking, so can you only sign up at the beginning of the 9-month cycle, or any time will we have continued access to the recordings after the 9 months? We can only sign up right now in the beginning, because once we get started, then, and you come in late, you're going to be missing some of the classes. And there are, as I mentioned, the first live Q&A and implementation session is already starting in 4 weeks. So if you come after that, then we're going to have missed the first live session, which will affect certification. If you come in a little bit late, of course, you can catch up. And will you have continued access? Absolutely. You don't lose your recordings. They will be there for you to learn from, re-listen to, take notes. You can do everything, and it'll always be sitting there right for you in your membership area. Before I get to some more of these questions, I want to go ahead and welcome Tzippi. Thank you so much for being here. It means a lot to us. I'm going to unmute you right now, and hopefully your microphone is ready. There you go.
Okay. Can you hear me?
We can. Welcome.
Okay. Hi, everyone. It's such an honor to be here. My name is Tzippi Gross, and I'm a business coach, and I do stand-in COO work. And I've been following, actually, Jillian, I've been following Mrs. Radcliffe for about close to 20 years now, reading her articles eagerly, awaiting them every week in the Mishpacha magazine, and more recently taking, a tremendous amount of Mrs. Radcliffe's courses. And I'm joining the program. I've joined already. It's a no-brainer to me, because the step-by-step process of even though I've learned so much already and implemented so much in my own life and in my children's lives and in my clients' lives, having the complete program step by step, going from the foundation to the tools and approaches is something that is extremely exciting to me. And also, I really would like to have the Sarah Chana Radcliffe certification name as one of my credentials. That is somebody that I respect tremendously, and I'm very eager to have that certificate. So to me, it's a complete no-brainer. And I just wanted to highlight some of the main points that have been extremely helpful to me, and what I'm hoping to dive more into is that Mrs. Radcliffe's approach to me, as she even mentioned herself, is a very unique approach to the other approaches that are out there with different parenting experts and philosophies, all of which are very helpful. But what I've found is that in Mrs. Radcliffe's approach, besides for the foundations that she'll expound on in this 9-month program, just having concrete tools, like what do I actually do right now in this situation? With the giving the love, obviously, is the having the 80-20 is the concrete, like that's just the foundation. But then what do I actually do when this happens to my child, when that happens to my child, when they're faced with this problem, with that problem? And my children also range from 2 to 16. So I'm always dealing with all kinds of different things coming up, and having specific tools in each situation is extremely helpful. But not only that, I have found that being part of this community and learning with Mrs. Radcliffe has created more resilience in my own self. The tools that I'm learning for my children, I actually have to first implement in my own self, use them on myself, and create healthy boundaries for myself, redefine how I'm looking at myself and my parenting approach. And that has been extremely useful, especially professionally. Many of my clients come with, a lot of the same issues that we all struggle with, and having tools of self-regulation and resilience and strength and positivity to give not only to myself, but to them, they're also coming in with their children's problems. So I'm the one who's kind of known in my neighborhood as like the Mrs. Radcliffe, I guess follower. So people will call me and say, what do I do with this situation? Which block flower should I use? What tool should I do? Is this an appropriate response? So getting the certificate and being able to say, like, with confidence, like, I'm representing this methodology, this way of thinking, and being able to bring real concrete tools to my clients, to my own self, to my family, is something that I'm extremely, extremely looking forward to.
Thank you so much. We've loved having you as part of our family circle for years, and I really would be remiss if I didn't thank you, not just for coming on today, but really, Sippy, after being part of our family circle and part of our Jewish Workshops family for so long, really approached me in the very beginning and said, we have to do something more with Sarachana. This is going to be like the best thing that we can do is to make more Sarachanas out there in the world. And as Sarachana said in the very beginning, again, she can only reach so many people, but she would love to have, more people to be able to reach with her methodologies. And so, Sippy, thank you for lighting the spark under us and getting this program off the ground. And, it means a lot. And we can't wait to see you as part of our graduating class, the first one.
Thank you, Julian. And just to that end, the reason why I was so gung-ho about getting this off the ground and bringing up this idea is because as I myself was looking into all the different continuing education options out there, I said, there's really nobody that I would want to get more information, more knowledge from than Mrs. Radcliffe herself, somebody that actually helps people change their life. Like I find that in a lot of programs, we have kind of like, people are trying to change the situation, try to figure out how to change their kids. And in this approach, it's a lot more about like dealing with what is, and within that, making the best of it, helping people in the most effective way, but a very grounded approach. So this like, I just was thinking like this program has to exist, and we all need to get this training, whether you want to do this professionally, whether you just are a parent, like you need these tools. We all need these tools. So I'm very much looking forward to joining everyone and being a part of this community together.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
You too.
I have to say thank you, Sippy. I didn't know you were going to come on and talk about this. It's wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Let me get to some more questions here. I want to make sure that everybody is getting their answers. Do we pay for the bonuses number 1 and 2? No, all of that is included in your platinum package for $59.97. Everything that I mentioned is included, including your certification, plus, of course, everything that's included in the basic package, the 9 months, the outlines, quizzes, and homework, the membership forum, the community forum, and the live classes. What time on Thursday will the live classes and sessions be? You will get all of that information, but I think I can actually pull that up for you as well. And we will also give you the dates ahead of time so that you can schedule yourself. You can schedule those into your calendar and make sure that you can be there. In order to obtain certification, we ask that you do obviously listen and participate in all of the recorded sessions, plus turn in your homework, which Sarachana will take a look at, and that you show up for at least 80% of the live sessions. Of course, things I know come up in people's lives, and certain times you might just miss a class. You'll have the recording available, of course, but please make sure that at least 80% of the time you're there for your live classes so that we can get that certification to you. I thought that I had it. I don't have it in front of me, but let me, I will get it for you, the answer to the time question of what time on Thursdays, unless Sarachana, you have that, but I will take a look in a minute. Each session that you have as a recording is approximately 1 hour to listen to during the week. And really, with all of these time questions, so Hannah, there are people who are really asking what kind of time commitment are we looking at? I'm happy to take that question, or if you'd like to touch on that.
Right. Okay. So 1 hour for the lesson itself. And after the lesson, as we said, there'll be a short quiz, but I think we're talking about 10 minutes of something very, very short.
Exactly.
Make sure that the lesson was listened to. We're not going to be certifying people because you bought the course. Okay. I can't say, you showed up to the live class and you bought the course, so you're certified, right? We have to know that you're following along. And to that end as well, there will be something that will take you from, I would say, depending on how fast you work, I would say 15 to 30 minutes additionally to write a reaction to the course material of that week. I'm going to be looking at all of that. I'm going to be interacting a little bit with that. I'm not going to write back to you, but I will be talking about what I receive from you at the live sessions. And so I would say we've got now about an hour, and it could be an hour and a quarter, an hour and a half, or if you're a little slower and you're the kind of person who likes to dig deeper, it could be 2 hours if you like to write. But that writing assignment, it doesn't require writing skills. If you can just put in bullet point form, we're asking for, you'll see it when we send it out, but a certain kind of interaction with the class material. Because again, this is not something that's, I heard this, I know this, or whatever, it must be internalized, okay? You have to get it inside of you. And this is actually a principle of the parent education that we're going to do as well, that it's not enough for us to throw information out there. Here you go, here's your information. It doesn't work like that. It has to be absorbed into your client's brain, and it's going to have to be absorbed into your brain first. And I want to know that you have it in your brain before I put my name on your career, okay, that you actually are representing the material that is in this course, and that is important as a definition of what a Chana Radcliffe coach is. I hope that I'll be able to put up a list of where you live and what city you're in, and your telephone numbers, and people can find you to get help from you, knowing that you know what you're supposed to know. Okay, so yeah, I would say a minimum of an hour and 10 minutes, and possibly it could be, I would say an average of an hour and a half, and then could be if you like to go slower, it could be 2 hours. But I'm going to say I don't think it needs to be that long. And then once a month we have the 2 hours workshop. I think that you're looking up the time, but I believe it was Thursdays from 3 to 5, I'm thinking, but you'll verify that, right, Jillian? For the live sessions. So
yeah, that sounds right. 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern time.
Okay, so yes, Eastern Standard Time. So once a month will be that busy week for you. Okay, now you wouldn't expect to get a serious certification in half an hour a week, I don't think so. And at the same time, we're not trying to overburden you. I know that you've got families and you've got jobs, you've got lives. So you can do what I do, stay up late at night and do this stuff. Or maybe you're in a situation where you actually do have a few hours that you could put to it without stressing. I would like that to be the case. But anyways, we're trying not to overstress or underdo it. I hope that we're hitting the sweet spot.
Excellent. Thank you so much. I just want to go ahead and mention welcome to Miriam, our newest student. Welcome Devora, and welcome Esty. So wonderful to have you. And again, as you continue to sign up, please remember to come on back and just let me know. We have a lot of people here on the line with us, so I don't want to miss anybody, but I do want to make sure that we're also just keeping track of how many are in our top 15 for that extra special bonus. So please come on back and let me know. When does this course begin? You will be getting your very first class a week from tomorrow. So it's Monday, November 27th. Your first class arrives in your membership area. You'll get an email, of course, notifying you and with all of the login details and how to find it and get it. And it will come with your outline and everything that you need. Okay, we talked about time commitments. Let me see. Sarhana, will we also be learning how to identify when there are blocks in parental approach towards children for reasons such as the parent's own trauma or difficulties?
Definitely. We're not turning into clinical psychologists or anything like that. But we're going to be able to assess by how our material is being received, whether we're dealing with a situation that we can reasonably expect the material to be learned. We do not want to find ourselves in a situation where we keep trying and trying and trying, which means for the client charging and charging and charging money, and not make progress. So the progress markers will be very, very important as we go along. And we say that up front. I'm going to show you how to approach the client, how to let them know what you're offering, and what to happen in the case that this isn't working quickly. Like I'm going to be very specific about what to do about that. You may not know, and you certainly won't be in a position to diagnose anybody unless you're already a diagnostician. Maybe you're currently a psychiatrist who wants to expand your practice into a parenting specialty. If that's the case, then you will be able to diagnose and you'll be able to understand quite well why this material isn't sliding down. Or a clinical psychologist, something like that. If you're licensed and qualified to diagnose, then you'll know why. If you're not already a diagnostician, you're not going to be concerned with why so much as you will be able to recognize when. Okay, so because there's all sorts of reasons and making trauma guesses and so on. As you go along in this work, you may want to become. This is what I said earlier. You may be so curious about why it's not working sometimes that you decide you want to take higher levels of training and become an actual diagnostician. So that's always open, right? Like if you're starting this career, you there's no end to where you can go with it. Depends what you're interested in, as I said before. But it won't be necessary to assess what's wrong with the parent. It will be important to know that this material is not suitable for certain kinds of parents, and we'll be covering that quite well. So you'll be able to recognize it. And same thing for children. It could be that the parent is doing everything perfectly, is able to understand and apply all the information, but the child is not able to take it in for reasons also that may require diagnostic expertise. But you'll be able to recognize not what is the problem, but so much that there is a problem and that it requires further intervention elsewhere.
Excellent. Thank you so much. We have a question. Can we start off with the basic and add on the certification at a later time? Absolutely. As long as while you are a basic member, you are just making sure that you are participating in, the weekly classes and those monthly live classes. As long as your attendance is there, then you can always add on the certification at a later time when you feel like you're ready for that. Are the recordings available after the 9 months? Yes, absolutely. You will have them for a lifetime. You'll always be able to go back and make sure that you can reference those recordings at any time. I think that's a really wonderful idea, actually. Just make sure that you keep up to date with everything that you've always, that you learned already. Is there a period of time? Let's see. Yeah, so we talked about how much time commitment is necessary. Can we talk a little bit more about the certification? Is it recognized by the National Association of Social Work? Maybe we can just talk about in general what the certification means for people.
certifications mean very little to anybody. Okay, what they mean is that you actually have something to offer that's very, very important and valuable. So this is what I said about people. Sometimes after a person's name, you see LOCBW.XQ, whatever it is. You have no idea what it's referring to. I used to have this really great set of initials, OACCPP, which was a certification that cost $25, and that did have something to it. It was you had to have a graduate degree and everything, but it was for counselors. But I used to laugh because then when I took further licensing and stuff, which cost tens of thousands of dollars and like my lifeblood and huge difficult examinations and all sorts of things, nobody noticed the switch in the letters. Okay, so it didn't make any difference to my practice, to my actual practice. I did licensing because where I lived, the regulations were changing, upgrading, and I didn't want to find myself like kicked out of my area of the practice, whatever it was. I did it kind of just in case, but nobody noticed, nobody cared. The certification, therefore, is something that you're going to bring to the table when you're looking for a position or for a job. For example, let's say there's a clinic that offers all kinds of services, but doesn't have a parenting coach. And you want to come and you want to say, I am a certified parenting coach with the Chana Radcliffe Academy. And I've got an in-depth training, and I think I can contribute as a practitioner here in your clinic. And I see that you have somebody here for marriage counseling. I see that you have somebody for trauma counseling, but do you have a parenting specialist here? Now that would be, even if you were asking for that kind of position, that's going to go over a lot better than saying to somebody, hi, I'm a parenting coach. Oh, yes. What kind of training and education do you have? I took a course a while ago, you need this certification. We'll send you a document. It has your name on it. You can take a picture of it, whatever it is. It's like, it is real. It means you passed tests. Okay. It means that you were a serious student. It means that you took this seriously. That's what certification always means. So it's not that now you are a doctor of psychology. You're not ever going to pretend to be what you're not, and you don't need to be. Because the professions need parenting coaches. They actually need it. Your pediatrician, how much parenting education do you think that person's taken? Now, I hope that a lot of pediatricians will show up here and take certification, because parents innocently go and they ask their pediatrician, what should I do about my child's, this or that, and the pediatrician has no training. The pediatrician sees people for their sore throats and their rashes and their whatever's going on with their health. And I don't know how much. Did they take a day? I don't know what they took, but not what you're going to take, okay? The psychiatrist is dealing in medicine for the ADHD. Does the psychiatrist know anything about parent coaching? No, okay? You're going to know a lot more. That's why these professionals are going to refer to you. It's an actual profession, and your certification says, I took this seriously. I am a professional. If you just say, I read a lot of books, I took a class, I took a course online, and you don't have that extra statement, I am certified, okay? I don't know who's going to take you that seriously, because in a way, you're not taking yourself that seriously. I remember when I first started taking whatever course it was at the Jewish workshops, I think the email course which had a very big business component in it. Now I was taking it just to learn how to do an email list, but there was a whole thing about, getting your word out there and investing in yourself. And I remember, that the lesson that we were taught there is if you're not willing to invest in yourself, why should anybody else invest in you? If you can't take yourself seriously enough to put your money where your mouth is, to put your time and your effort where it's really important, why should somebody even trust you? You're not taking it that seriously. I thought that was important and helped me spend lots of money on everything that I ever did after that. Anyways, it's not just the money, I'm just teasing you, but it's taking yourself seriously. Okay, you want to be a professional, certify yourself. Okay, and that will help you carry yourself forward properly.
Thank you so much. That's really powerful, and I hope that people really understand the importance of that. There is a question about the community forum, like when that takes place. So the wonderful part of the community forum is that it's always open and it's always available. So when you log into your membership area, you'll be watching your class, taking notes, following your outline, and there'll be a little button right there next to your class that says Community Forum. And you'll be able to click into that and either start a conversation. Wow, what Sarah Chana just said about discipline really, shook me to the core. I've got such a new outlook on how to, take that to a new level now. You can start the conversation like that, or you can say, did anybody understand, or can someone help me understand, X, Y, or Z? Maybe I just, missed that part of the class, or whatever the case may be. You can ask questions, you can start conversations, you can just talk about what, really stood out to you. And then everyone in the community can see that at all times. They can go back and become part of that conversation. And again, of course, anybody who has questions, I really didn't understand, what Sarah Chana was talking about when she mentioned the 80-20 rule. No problem. We've got our master trainer right there in the forum as well, and she can really help delve more into any real questions that you're looking for answers that need a professional answer to. Plus, in the forum, it's really nice because you'll be able to kind of search back and look for questions or answers that you either asked before, or you saw somebody write in a question and you thought, oh, I want to go back to that. It's much easier to search in this open forum. And again, you'll see that when you log in and it's all online. And if, of course, you have any questions, you can always contact us at Jewish Workshops and we'll help you find it and help you navigate what you need. Once again, the 9 months start next week. Your very first class is going to be delivered to you next Monday, November 27th. And those live classes start, it's on the sales page. Also, I believe it's December 21st, but I can again get you the exact date. It will be on the sales page, as I mentioned. And that will be the first live class. So we'll want to make sure that you schedule that into your calendar. Welcome, Tzipora. Yay, that's so exciting. We have another new student. We are so happy to have you. Another Devora is in. Welcome. This is really great. So I think that we're already up to our first 5. And we've got just about a half an hour left here on the line. So please make sure, if you're interested and excited, make sure to grab your spot now. For those of you who are putting in your names and telephone numbers because you need some help registering or you have additional questions to help set up your payment plan options, you will get a call. So please don't worry, be patient. As I mentioned, we have some great staff members here on the line, Tzipora and Hannah, and they're ready to give you a call. So you will also get that spot. We will make sure we save your spot, of course, in the first 15 until they can get in touch with you. So, but I wouldn't hesitate if anybody else is just thinking, oh, should I, shouldn't I? Grab your spot now, please. Because that extra bonus is really important and really special that you get an additional time, additional face time with Sarah Chana. Will the resource library also be available to members for a lifetime? Absolutely. This is really, I think Sarah Chana really mentioned it before. It is one of the best resources we can possibly offer you to have additional tools and techniques to help you, again, on your parenting journey and on others' parenting journeys. It was really special. Somebody who actually, again, joined us during the pre-sale mentioned that she was part of her community. She often gave parenting classes or, helped talk to mom groups around the community. And she didn't necessarily even see herself as a parenting coach before, but just from what she had learned from being part of Sarah Chana's family circle and really taking all of that information and learning it, she felt like she could also talk to other moms in the community. And now she's so excited to be able to have a full certified program that she can join and just, again, take her commitment to parenting education to the next level. So she's really excited about that. And again, I think that, it all really starts, like Sippy said, with us and our own parenting and our own skills and the way that it affects our own lives. And then we can take that and, give advice, God willing, and guidance to other people who are looking for that.
Put a little thought in there while you're talking about that.
Yeah.
Because I know some people, are interested specifically in parenting. But there are people who are also interested in family relationships, in in-laws and extended families, in different shaped families and all the issues, even in the marriage issue or the personal trauma journeys. Like, people have different interests, which are, I would say, general psychology. And when I first started this path, didn't have any interest in any of that stuff. I only had interest in helping children, because I felt that so many problems in life start in childhood and are avoidable. Okay, like, there's certain things that are not avoidable. I'm a big proponent of the idea that genes have a lot to do with what we're looking at, and many other factors. I think those of you who've ever read anything I've written or studied with me know that I think there's a lot of factors that go into things, but there's a lot of damage that's avoidable through wise parenting, let's call it, or informed parenting, or advanced parenting skills, or whatever. That was my interest. However, as I went along, I saw that, in fact, the material that we're dealing with in parenting is applicable to its intrapsychically, like in terms of our own self, for the child within us, and for the family, the inner family that's within us, and for our own self, and for the marriage, and for our work relationships, and for the in-laws and ex-laws. And it turns out that this material is not limited to parenting. Sure, when we talk about discipline and having somebody write out lines or something, okay, that's a specific example, but it's an example of something which is a larger boundary setting issue, which will apply everywhere. So for those who have some interest in parenting, but a lot of curiosity, interest in other relationships in and around the family, or even in oneself, I think you're going to find a lot here for those things as starting points for further discovery, but also like further development professionally, because we're not certifying you here as a marriage coach, for example, but you will learn so much that will actually help you work with parents. You see that we have a whole unit with that. And we're going to draw the lines where that is what we're doing, and then we're extending to a place where we are not qualified to go. You're going to see it, but I think this will meet the interests of people who are interested in things around parenting, around family, and in psychology in general, which in the end became my passion, all of psychology, because it just goes there. It just goes there. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you. I just want to reiterate, I see people asking about payment plans. There are payment plan options available. If you need help with setting that up, please put your name and your telephone number right here in the chat box, and we will happily register you over the phone with the payment plan that best fits your needs. These discounted prices are only available for the 48 hours. Yes. The prices will go up after 48 hours. This is a special discounted rate that we are offering to our open house attendees. So please make sure to grab it now, and welcome Fradel. So excited to see you part of here too. That is wonderful. Okay, again, just a reminder, come on back and let me know if you're in so that I can keep track of how many we have, and of course, welcome you. That is always an exciting part of our journey. A question, if Thursdays from 3 to 5 are not practical for me during the school year, does this mean the Platinum is not available to me? The Platinum, in order to get certified and attend all of those live classes, yes, it does warrant some time commitment from you. I would just please send your phone number into our chat, or email us at Jewish Workshops, because we can give you the list of dates ahead of time of all of the Q&As coming up. And perhaps there are times, if you're that you're on a break, that there's either a holiday break or a winter break or whatever the case may be in the school year. And of course, there are many that will come after the school year. So it could be that you'll still be able to hit that 80%, and we would certainly love to try and make it work for you. So please just either leave your name and telephone number or your email address, and we can get back to you and try and make that work if you are really committed to the Platinum package. I see. Do we learn the information? Do we just learn the information, or will we be learning how to give it over to parents? Excellent question. And Sarhana, I know that you and I had talked about this, so we can definitely clarify that.
Yeah, this is the big difference between what we did in the family circle for all these years, where parents themselves, interested people who wanted to learn this material for themselves and for their families, I was teaching it to them. And I was teaching it to them, okay, in other words, on a screen, like we're on a screen, and we have some give and take, like we're having some give and take right now. That is quite different than parent coaching, where you're working one-on-one with a parent, or even in a consultation, with a teacher about a child, whatever it is. You are working a particular issue through. It's not the same thing at all. This parent coaching requires you to know the material so that you'll know what you're aiming for and how to think about the problem, but and what kind of solutions might be appropriate for the problem that's being raised. But you're not just teaching the material in the way that we would do it on a class. Now, having said that, when you become a certified parenting coach, if you want to give classes, if that's your thing, you want to get online, you want to have a podcast, you want to have your own, webinar thing that you do, whatever, you want to write articles, you want to write your blog, you can throw the material at people and it will land. People will pick up little things here and there, and those little things will make huge differences. So it's valuable, but none of that is parent coaching. Okay. So this course is about teaching you how to give the material to parents. It's a completely different thing. So even though you may have been reading my material, let's say for 40 years, whatever, and you know all about the 80-20 rule, okay, that doesn't mean that you know what I'm going to do with that material in this course, okay? In this course, yes, I have to teach people who haven't been reading my material for 40 years. We're going to have to review what that rule is about. That would be very brief. But the question is, how are you going to get parents to apply that rule? Okay, it's one thing to read it, a completely different thing to live it. And you have to be able to pull out the objections, the things that go wrong, why it can't happen. Yes, it's completely different what we're going to be doing here. Okay.
Excellent, thank you. Sarhana, will there be room in the course to consider other cultures? For example, I'm from Europe, and that sometimes makes a big difference to one's approach towards the parents themselves and helping them. Will you be able to, or will you be conscious of people attending from different countries and Jewish cultural backgrounds? I'm going to give that to you to answer, but I also just want to make a quick note. This is actually the perfect question, and why it's so important and so special to be part of the first 15 to get that extra face time, because this is exactly something that can come up in that conversation, showing what your interests are and what your mission is, and where you're from and who you're going to be talking to the most. So all of those things will really help Sarhana guide the course to the right place. And sorry, I kind of answered for you, but please feel free to take it from there.
That's okay. Yes, first of all, now that you've asked for it, and in that sort of sense, I will do my best to address it, but this is something that will come up in the live Q&As. So for example, I may have covered, a whole bunch of material, and then in the live Q&A and the implementation session, you're going to say, well, where I come from, that won't go down well, okay, because this is how, the parents do it here or there. And what would be a workaround for it? Okay, you're going to bring that to me, and I'm going to be able to answer that for you. I, in my own work, do work with all sorts of people, okay? It's like, it's always been that way, all sorts of people from every kind of background, from every kind of country, from every kind of culture, okay? So I don't think the question will be unanswerable. It'll be answerable, but you who have the interest in how this would apply to this unique situation or unique culture, you need to be at the live sessions to ask that and to allow me to adapt material accordingly. I would say that's how we would do it.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you. Let me see. Oh, somebody's having trouble getting into the website to register. Please just send us your phone number right now. Put your phone number into the question box and we'll be able to help you register right over the phone. I'm sorry that you are having some trouble there. Sarhana, does it make a difference how much personal parenting experience I have? I have less than 5 amazing years.
You know, I laugh because like I started my parent education career before I had any children. I was working with a professor at the University of Toronto. We were studying lifespan research, developmental psychology from the beginning of life all the way to the end of life. And we were working on a research paper there, but this particular professor had a very big interest in parenting. This was, Hashem put him and me together. And that's how I got interested in parenting. At the time, I was working at a clinic for children with learning disabilities part-time, and they had a parent education clinic, which I sat in and watched as a student for a number of years. And then they asked me to lead that clinic of people with children, neurodiverse, difficult, challenging children. I should lead the parenting workshop. And I didn't have a single kid, okay? But I know that because I had information and I had a way of working with the parents, and I knew how to deal with the concepts, okay? I didn't need experience. I mean, you know, I said it before, I was kind of mocking, like I have 3 children, or I have 6 children, or I have 15 children. Our 15 children is not what's going to help us be expert consultants in parenting coaches. It's not going to help us because our children are just the product of our little tiny gene pool and our little tiny experience and our little tiny skill set, okay? It is really that conceptual information that's going to make us effective. So you don't need any experience. I don't care if you're not married, if you just want to embark on a fascinating career. Obviously, you'll get a little bit more of an experience once you become a parent. I remember thinking to myself when I became a parent, I'm so grateful that I knew this stuff before I became a parent, because I would have been horrible as a parent. I mean, I just didn't have the instincts for it. I didn't have the patience for it. Are you listening, my children? You want to tell me I still don't have the instincts? I know that I did so much better than I would have done had I not known all this stuff before I held that first baby in my hands, okay? We are able to help people and ourselves with the concepts alone. We don't need experience. That's not what we're bringing to this job, our own personal experience. So then later on, you have maybe more compassion. When I had my first very difficult child, I thought, yeah, it's not all about the parenting, is it? You know, it's about a lot of different things. So there are some eye-opening experiences from having your own children, of course, but that is not what's going to help you the most.
Great. Thank you so much. That was fantastic. And I think she just wrote back here, I have an immensely strong interest in parent coaching, something I've really always wanted to do. How do I know I have the right personality for it?
So you don't need the personality. I just told you, like, oh, well, okay. You don't need the personality for the parenting. What you need, or for the counseling even, okay? So like we see when people are trained to be professional therapists or counselors and coaches, that the training provides you with a skill set. This is how you are going to approach people to get the best results that you're after, okay? So there's a skill set that you're taught. It's not a personality that you have. Some people, they do have the skill set as a natural part of their personality. I don't know, they were born intuitively knowing how to connect, relate, teach, give over. I don't know. Okay. But that's very fortunate, but completely unnecessary. Okay. The average person must learn the skill set. It's a profession. Okay. So, I wouldn't worry about whether you have the personality. If you have the interest in this topic, if you're interested, then you're now going to learn how to bring that interest alive and how to help people with it using your own personality. So, same thing when it comes to, the actual business side of things. That's why in this certification program, we have how to take all this information and get a client. Some people go like, oh, I don't need that. I've been running lemonade stands since I was 6 years old, and I've got like $1 billion that I've earned, since then doing who knows what. There is a business side, and some people are intuitive. They have the personality for that. But most people actually have to learn a skill set. How will I get that first client and the next client and so on? We don't have to be having the personality or the head start, though, of course, all these gifts help. Okay, being talented helps. But this is what we're training for here. We're teaching this. This is what it's about. Okay, so you should be able to be fine. You don't have to ask yourself, do I know how to do this already? Am I good at this already? You're not supposed to be good at it already. Okay, you'll be good at it when you graduate.
Excellent. I just want to answer, in the live classes, will we see our other classmates? So it's more of a give and take. Yes, you will. It'll be very much a classroom type of setting. And Sarahana, so will Sarahana be teaching us how to approach parents so we are credible? Not everyone has an easy or credible rapport. Again, I think this actually speaks to the confidence that you were talking about earlier. So if you want to just maybe review that, I think that was a big part of, again, why this is so different than taking just any course or just, becoming a coach. Because when you walk away from the Sarahana Academy, you walk away with all of the knowledge and the confidence to go out and speak, to clients.
There are a lot of parts that go into that confidence. For example, the knowledge itself is a very big boost, that you have something in your hand that your client needs. Okay. So that is a big confidence booster, but knowing how to approach the client is also very, very necessary in order to feel that confidence. Now, I've had in my practice, in my psychology practice, a number of people who were life coaches over the years and who were suffering terribly because of a couple of things. One, they didn't feel equipped to give the person something of value. Like they knew that they had a protocol, a way of interacting, but they didn't have anything to hand the client to make their life significantly improved. And this caused the life coach to be very, very stressed. And they felt insecure in coming empty-handed in a certain way to the meeting. Okay, so you're not going to have that feeling for sure. But also the protocol, I think, that they're talking about in terms of the general life coaching is loose compared to the protocol that you will have. You're going to have a lot of structure to the meeting itself so that you know how to open it, how to go through the middle of it, how to close it. I'm not going to leave you just there like, okay, now you know how to parent, but how do you talk to this client of yours? So you should have a great deal of confidence, even with your first client. Confidence in how you will approach the meeting, confidence in how you will assess what's going on there, and confidence in what you have to offer. And that will be a nice feeling for you to have, and it'll also inspire confidence in your client, because if you don't have that confidence, they don't know that they don't feel like they can trust you. It's kind of like, you're scared. They don't want you to be scared, and you won't be scared. Okay, so there's going to be a lot of structure for you to follow. That will help quite a lot.
Great, thank you. Is there going to be practice / like workshops where we get to try out the skills on each other or role play? So yeah, maybe if Sarahana, you want to just touch upon what those implementation sessions will look like a little bit?
You will have actual questions, okay, from the kind of questions that people call parenting coaches for, and you will have to run through those and answer them. So, this is going to be covering all kinds of material and giving you a chance to operate right away as a professional. So I'll give you a practice, session on what questions are you going to ask. Okay, we're going to do it. Yes, it'll be role playing, and we'll see how we'll see if we'll do it with each other. But I'm not sure about the with each other, but certainly with me. Okay, there will be role playing and feedback to guide your thinking. Well, what's the next question that we need to ask? How do we get into this? What questions do we ask around this? Not just like, well, here's somebody asked a question, here's the answer. Okay, that's, how do we think about this? What are all the factors impacting on this? And you're going to, the whole group, will be writing down how they will do it. Okay, everybody has to have their approach to it, and then we're going to see. We'll take different people at different times to be the it's not a guinea pig exactly, but whatever it is, the person who illustrates their methodology, and we'll all learn from it. So yes, there will be role playing, and there will be actual clinical questions that you're going to be faced with. And it'll give you a way, again, to learn to approach the parenting interview, how to think about things, how to draw on which questions at what time. It's to make you a professional so that when you, it's not just the information that you have. Again, you have to know the whole thing, how to bring it out. So that's what those live sessions are for. There will be a component for Q&A, but I'm hoping that when you do your writing assignment after each question, that you'll put the questions that arise to you after the session into your document that you're sending in, so that I can answer those quickly. I want most of that 2 hours to be for the practicum. And of course, there will be a Q&A section. So, but if you have already asked your questions, then we'll be able to address them quite quickly and move into the practice component, the implementation, as we're calling it. Okay.
Great, thank you. This sounds like a great program. I'm not sure if I can squeeze it in right now. Will this be offered again in the near future? God willing, we will offer it in the future. It probably won't be the near future, but God willing, we will start another round at some point. But if you can squeeze it in, I urge you to, because not only is this our first, graduating class, which is always very exciting to be part of, but we just don't have a time frame on when we can offer it again. So while we're here, and while Sarahana has graciously given so much of her time to become available for all of the classes and for the homework and for the Q&A and implementation sessions, and I actually didn't even mention that a couple months after we've completed our full program, Sarahana also will give a follow-up Q&A and implementation session to check in, to see how everybody's doing, so that, again, you don't feel like, okay, I'm done, and now I am just in the wind. Nobody's helping me. Nobody's supporting me. Now what do I do? We will follow back and certainly offer, again, any kind of support and guidance, and answer questions and follow up to see how, the business side of things are going. So don't feel like you are here and you're just a number. You're really part of a community of like-minded individuals who find a passion in helping others. And I think that that's really important to take note of and to remember when you're going on this journey. You're not alone through the journey, and you won't be alone after. We've actually given a couple of other courses through our Jewish workshops where we have, these community forums, and the relationships that are built just within the community outside of the teacher and the lecturer, and is so beautiful and so supportive. and you really feel like you are a part of something bigger than just you. And the entire, parenting coach philosophy is obviously here to help others. And so we're already on a mission to do something so much bigger than just us. And so doing that together with a community and feeling that kind of camaraderie is something that you can't really put a price on. You can't really put any kind of, defining factor on. It is something that just feels so good and so right while you're there in that moment. So with just a few minutes left here, first of all, I hope that answered your question, but with just a few minutes left here, I'm going to turn it back to you, Chana. If there are any other questions, please feel free to stick those in. I think I got to every one of them, but if I missed yours or if there's something else that's popping up on your mind, feel free to come back and stick it right here into the question box. Of course, if you still need help registering, please put your name and telephone number in. Once we sign off for the day, there's no way that we can get back in touch with you and know that you're interested. So come on back and let us know, of course, right now. And if you're in and you didn't tell me yet, feel free to put your name and your the words "I'm in" so I can welcome you. It looks like we're about halfway to our 15. So there are still a few spots left that are available. I definitely want to make sure that we can fill those spots because it is such a special experience and opportunity. I know there are a few that are waiting for calls, so those are going to go in there as well. So we probably only have about 3 left. If we didn't already fill those on the calls, we'll ask Hannah to update me and make sure we still have a couple in the first 15. So please make sure to register at jewishworkshops.com/SCR Academy. I will put that back on your screen for you. And I am going to turn the floor back to you, Chana.
Well, I am hoping to see all of you at the meeting soon and at the class, and to work together to produce, an army of parenting helpers. And, I'm wondering, if you've come this far in today's workshop, in the open house, if you still have a question, what's holding you back? What are you thinking about? What is your concern? I mean, I want to hear if there's something that we've missed here, if you put it in the chat box. If you're still here, I know your brain is ticking. You're wondering, can you see yourself with this fantastic career? And, I know you want us kind of, if you're still on the line right now. So what is the question? I'm wondering that's, that you need answered before you might dive in and start with us, because we're starting very soon. And I'd love to have you with us. As you know, I think this is the best career ever, offering the most flexibility. And I have to tell you, it offers a very good income. When I was practicing, when I graduated at first, there was, as I said, no such thing as this profession. We can call it parenting coach now, but there weren't even coaches, I don't think, except for business coaches at the time when I first started. So a business coach was a professional person who was going to, have an MBA or something, who was going to teach you how to build a business. Apart from that, I don't even think life coaching was out there yet. So you are either a psychotherapist or a therapist or a psychiatrist or a social worker or a psychologist. And that's who would be the helper for somebody who had a parenting problem. So I called myself at the time an educational therapist. I made up this title and I was helping people with a variety of things, including handwriting and how to write and all sorts of things. And under that title, I began helping people with their parenting. I know that and I charged a competitive rate. Okay, I wasn't charging like $25 an hour because, hey, I have no training, I have no certification, I have no nothing. I knew I had a lot to offer people, and I charged the same as anybody who was already a licensed professional, whatever. And I had a full practice immediately. It did not take a long time. I was not a big extrovert. I was always, I don't know how I come across now, but in those days, I was very shy, very withdrawn. I'm still pretty like that if you get me out of my comfort zone. It's not because I was like knocking on doors going like, oh, I have this wonderful thing. It's because there is a need. And I said, how many parents are there out there? And how complicated is it to raise children and to live in families? Like, this is so complicated, and we need a lot of help for this. So it's, to me, a field that is kind of easy to enter and is there for you to make a decent living at, like working with the kind of people you want to work with in an area or a realm which is comfortable to you, whether you decide to do a total Zoom practice or whether you're going to have a beautiful office, whether you want to work from your laundry room, wherever it works for you. So much flexibility, so much opportunity, and a real career that can really help you financially. I don't want to minimize that, because we need to live. We need to pay for our children's education and for their clothes and food and everything else, we're not working for free. We're not volunteering. This is a career path. Okay. And we want to do it because it's meaningful, because it's pleasurable, fun, and satisfying and wonderful, and important, but we also want to do it because it will make a living. So I put all that out there to you, that it has the potential for all of that. I've lived it. It's done that for me. And I don't consider myself, I don't know, I've done it like in so many different ways. I don't consider myself at an advantage over anybody else here. That's what I would say. Okay, so if you're on the fence, get off of it and join me and have this opportunity for yourself. That's what I would say.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much, Sarhana, for being here. Dina, I'm seeing your question, and I just ask if you could email us directly at jewishworkshops@jewishworkshops.com. And we will certainly help you out for sure. Or you can leave your phone number and I'll have somebody give you a call, just because it's a personal question, and I'm happy to get the answer for you. And Sarhana, before we jump off, Ronald just had one extra question. Month 5 is about mental health issues, identification and intervention. Does diagnosis of such conditions require a doctorate degree?
Yes, diagnosis requires a doctorate degree. And not only that, but like a specialization in clinical diagnosis. In other words, even with a doctorate degree, where I live, you can't, just because you're a psychologist doesn't mean you're qualified to diagnose. It depends if you've worked in, if you've done all the requirements to become a diagnostician. Okay, so no, we're not diagnosing, and but we have to be able to identify what we're looking at in order to help people, and we can certainly identify symptoms without diagnosing. So if somebody is worrying, for example, maybe they have a diagnostic, maybe they have an anxiety disorder. That's not going to matter to us if we actually have a technique that can help with the symptom. We are not in a position where we need to diagnose. We don't need to say, oh, you have generalized anxiety disorder, so here's what you should do about it. We're not doing that, okay? So, oh, you worry? Here's something that might help, and that's how we're going to approach it, okay? So yeah, that was a great question. Thank you for that. But no.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you to everyone who is here. And like Sarhana just said, if there is something that is still standing in your way, some kind of blockage, some kind of question that needs to be answered, if you're really on the fence, but know that this deep down in your heart is something that you want to do and see your future in, please feel free again to reach out to us either by phone or by email at jewishworkshops@jewishworkshops.com. For sure, over the next 48 hours, I know we will be very busy trying to help as many people as possible get their spots at the special discounted price. But even for the rest of the week, once we've started, we still will be happy to answer questions and help squeeze you into the course. Because like I said, I don't know how soon in the future we'll be starting our second one. So if this is something that you really want and you just have one last nagging question, feel free to reach out. We would love to be able to help push you in that right direction for you. And Sarhana, I know that you are busy and you have so many things going on, and we really appreciate the amount of time and commitment you give to us and our community and all of your future students here. So thank you for being with us, and we look forward to starting the Sarhana Academy next week.
I'm very, very excited. Thank you for this amazing opportunity. I'm so thrilled to be here and to be doing it. So looking forward to seeing you all soon.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day, everybody.